You never know you are a monster until someone comes to slay you. The first signs are really subtle, but over time,
First things first, Microsoft is bringing Wuchang Fallen Feathers to Game Pass on day one, whenever it releases in 2025. See, Fallen Feathers over here is actually one of the oldest games we've initially had absolutely zero hope for in the beginning, especially since there was the gameplay demo. But it's actually gone through a significant improvement since reveal. Firstly, it is a Souls-like action RPG inspired by games such as Bloodborne and Naya. Here's how it looks now. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and also PCs.
I should know. It runs in my blood.
Alright, so I've said it before, I'll say it again if I have to. Black Myth Wukong is another one of the oldest and also the biggest games in the making, out of East. Now, developers announced a August 20th release date for it, coming to PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X as well. It's another action RPG Souls-like, it's a single player game obviously, and set in a deep Chinese mythological world inspired by the Monkey King story. Here's how it looks. Black Myth is made with the use of Unreal Engine 5 with 4K resolution support, ray tracing, all 9 yards.
Shadows vanished into the mist.
I pray for their grace, but all that came were inferior shades.
At the state of play earlier in the month, we saw a game called Ballad of Antara, which was built as a single-player free-to-play action RPG offering several characters in different worlds and their own one-of-a-kind story that we'll eventually meet. What's even better, that this game is optionally a 4-2-player co-op multiplayer, kind of like the old Golden Axe, although it's online. Here's a trailer. Ballad of Antara is coming to PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X sometime next year.
Dust of forgotten miracles! Rain fire from above! This desolate land needs a sprinkle of madness.
Remember, no matter what happens, we did not betray this world.
Everstone Studio revealed another trailer for their AAA action-adventure RPG game, Where Winds Meet, now scheduled to come out in the first few months of 2025 into PCs, PlayStation 5. In case you missed it, this game is actually set in an open-world China around the 10th century, and it's about a young warrior on a journey on self-discovery. The fine developers tagged this game as a groundbreaking Oriental Wuha open world.
Did your father ever tell you why my bones ache in the weather? War. Their soldiers killed everyone.
With Assassin's Creed Shadows being announced, Ubisoft went the extra mile and came out with over 10 minutes of its combat, world, and basically all in-game footage. Shadows, in case you missed it, is a near 3-year-old developed original game. It's another stealth action adventure entry obviously, and the first game to have 2 main characters. This game is also set in a feudal Japan era. You can also tackle with either one of the characters along the journey. Check it out in case you missed it. This game is coming out November 15th.
Me past now, eh? Believe me, there are other ways to heal.
People so quick to abuse their power do not deserve to keep it.
There is much we will learn from each other, Yasuke.
You can see when 2 people fit, when they will be better together.
There is no honor in preying on the weak.
Together, we will bring justice back to the people.
How many days do I have left? 42 or 41? The face of this is here!
Phantom Blade Zero was also resurfaced a couple weeks ago and it just delivered one of the finest trailers on the Summer Game Festival. Easily one of the crown jewels of the show, once again. There is a demo you can play right now. Phantom Blade Zero is actually one of the most fast-paced and gory games we've seen for the past 12 months at least. It's a Souls-like action-adventure game and the developer's first work, coming to PCs and PlayStation 5 possibly early next year.
Soldiers and officials alike oppress the people for personal gain.
Whether you're a fan of a series or quite new, and believe me, it really makes no difference, cause this franchise is one of the easiest to hop in and out anytime, anywhere, however. So, a new Dynasty Warriors game called Dynasty Warriors Origins has been announced through the PlayStation State of Play as the first game in the series to feature a made-up or a nameless hero as a protagonist. Now, Koei Tecmo and Omega Force just came up with a release window of 2025 into PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. That being said, this was announced roughly 3 years ago. Number 8, we have one of the most anticipated hidden gems, or rather off-the-radar projects continuing the Swordman series of games going by the name Love the Story of Yunliu. This is another Souls-like hack-and-slash RPG, well, quite a bit like the Black Myth WuKong, or most of the games we mentioned earlier. It is, however, coming to PCs, possibly PlayStation 5 too, sometime next year. This is now how it looks. We've been mentioning Morbid Metal since 2021. Coming back to it, because we got a new leak. It might get a release window in the following months. Just in case you didn't quite catch up with this project so far, Morbid Metal is a third-person science fiction action roguelike announced, 5 years ago, and it's actually made by a single person. Just keep it in mind, this game is actually a PC exclusive, and this is how it really looks. Another Korean developers, last year came up with the announcement of Project V, or Impressionante. Maybe one of the top 10 biggest Souls-like games, action RPGs with open world elements in the making. Right now, I'd even argue it's a pretty good competitor to the other upcoming game, Black Myth. Between the two, this one looks even more modern in gameplay, mixing samurai fights and items with mythical weapons and some modern machines. This game is coming to PCs and on consoles, possibly next year. We've mentioned this one just the other week, but if you missed it, Capcom's AAA project Path of the Godless, or Kunitsu-Gami, is officially arriving July 19 this year. Not only we got another trailer for it, but the word that it's coming to PCs in both generation of consoles, excluding Switch. This is a single-player action RPG in which you must protect this maiden with some divine powers, as she is traveling to cleanse villages of evil. So it's a blend of both Japanese myth, there's some Ghosts of Tsushima, actually some tragic elements like games such as Pikmin, and this is what it is all about. Coming in at number 12, we have Project the Perceiver. Well, this was announced maybe 2 years ago. See, Perceiver came our way as an open-world action RPG based on the Chinese Yunliu Dynasty that actually goes back to the 2nd century. See, this project is at the moment probably one of the hidden gems and one of the most anticipated Unreal Engine 5 games in the making that's also set in an open-world setting just like Black Myth. Not that Black Myth WuKong is an open-world game though. It's only rumored to be coming out to PlayStation 5 and 4 sometime next year. Officially announced at last year's Gamescom, well, if you missed it, number 13 we have Project E. It's another work of the famous Korean team NCSoft, the same behind the Throne and Liberty we talked about recently. The company's other work, Project E, I've mentioned Throne and Liberty a lot, but Project E is based on the same universe and timeline of Throne and Liberty. However, it's more of a horror game. Take a look. Coming up behind that, it's once again Faith of Danschant Hereafter, the sequel to a 7-year-old game. It's a turn-based RPG that came out roughly August last year. It's suggesting it'll be coming to PCs in addition to both generation of consoles, somewhere between mid to late this year. Now, you see, Hereafter is actually one of the biggest projects out of China, and like I said before, this time around, it is a fully fledged action RPG at heart. Release date for it, however, is still yet to be announced. Finally on Steam, officially announced with a proper trailer. Last but not least, we have a new running action platformer here going by the name Ronin Rush. It's definitely more than just a running game, drawing inspiration from classic hack and slashers, beat 'em ups, and shmup genres. This game is coming to PCs. There's also a demo you can try on Steam, and here's how it looks.